morning, children. Today I will continue the lesson Lifelines of the National Economy, and we will discuss the topic that is the railways, Indian Railways. And first of all, we will go for the features and the importance of railways. So, what is the significance of the railways in the context of the Indian economy of our country? First, it is the principal mode of transport for freight and passengers. Second, it helps to conduct multifarious activities, for example, for business purposes, for pilgrimage, for sightseeing, and even for the transportation of goods from one place to another. Third, it is a great integrating force for the last 150 years. It also binds countries' economic life and accelerate industrial and agricultural developments. The first railway train which was initiated by the Britishers in India was, that is, the train steamed off from Mumbai to Thane in which year? 1853, and covered a distance of 34 kilometers. And this Indian Railway is the largest public sector undertaking. And this railway, the track which is followed, that is run on multiple gauges, operations extending over 68,442 kilometers. And these gauges are divided into three categories. Gauge means it is a unit measuring the distance between the two tracks. And the track, if the distance between is 0.6, that is called a narrow gauge. And you can see these gauges where in the hilly areas of our country, that is from Kalka to Shimla. And but the difference is between 1 meter between the two tracks, then it is called a meter gauge. And this earlier we were having this on that that is the, if you remember the expresses, Ashram Express and Pink City Express, they were running on the meter gauges. But now these tracks are converted depending upon the demand of the increasing population. They are converted meter gauges into broad gauges. That is means the distance is more than 1, that is 1.67 meter. So here comes the broad gauge, the narrow gauge, and the meter gauge. Now these gauges, now government may convert in the coming successive years if the population increases of the country into mega gauges. So these gauges initially they were started by the Britishers, we know very well, for the movement of their raw material, economic purposes, for their transportation of their movement of the armies and the raw material, etc. Next, now here comes the factors, means how the Indian Railways, where we can set up the railways easily, where it is difficult. So there are few factors that affects the distribution pattern of the railways in our country, depending upon the physiographic factor, economic factors, and the administrative factors. And there are the areas which are favorable for the growth of these railways, depending upon which one is there in the northern part of our country, that is called northern plains. Because why it is easy to construct railways in the northern plain? Because the factors are here: vast level land. So on the land, if the land is level, it is easy to construct the railways. Second factor is here high population. In the northern plains, they are highly densely populated. So to facilitate the movement of the people from one place to another place, that is the railway track is laid down. And the next one is the rich agricultural resources, because plain land used for cultivation, granaries of India, and the raw material from the fields to the factories, that's why the railway. So if the question comes why northern plains are favorable for construction of railways, then we can give these three: vast level land, density of population, and for the movement of the agricultural resources. Then next comes here unfavorable areas where it is difficult to lay, but still we are doing it. These are the, first of all, the rivers, over where vast rivers we are having, because they require construction of bridges. And which areas? The hilly terrain and peninsular regions, where the tracks can be constructed through the hills, gaps and tunnels. Another areas, that is the Himalayan mountains and Himalayan mountain regions. Because why difficult? Because it is a high relief, difficult to construct, lack of economic opportunities, and the sparse population. Sparse means population is very less in the hilly areas, and there are less opportunities for the employment to the people. That's why it is called less economic opportunities. Other areas which are unfavorable: sandy plains of West Rajasthan, swamps of Gujarat, and forested tracts of the Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and Jharkhand. But in the south, development of Konkan railways along with the west coast facilitated the movement of the passengers and the goods, but it has faced problems of sinking of track and the landslides in these areas. Next topic comes, though this Indian Railways has contributed towards the economy of the country, but it suffers from some problems. What are these problems faced by the Indian Railways? As you see, many times the people travel without the tickets, so it is a big loss to the earning to the government. Thefts and damaging of the railways property. People, they steal the things when they travel and then they damage the property. Unnecessary chain pulling. They keep on pulling the chain, that again a problem faced by the Indian Railways. And stopping of the train wherever it is not required. So we have gone through now the topic that is under the means of transportation, that is on the land. First, in the previous we have done about the roadways. Next, this is now railways, and third is the waterways, that we will be doing in the next video. Thank you.